YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with the video where we're going to be talking more about the vacant offensive coordinator search, as there has been a new name entered in the hat. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when new content is posted to the channel like this. I'm trying to hit 6,000 subscribers as soon as possible, so please hit that subscribe button again. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into today's video. So how's everyone doing on this final week of multiple football games for the year? I mean, this is championship weekend. AFC championship and NFC championship games are today. And you gotta soak it in because this is it. Okay, this is it. And we won't have football for about 7 months, man. Sucks, doesn't it? But hope everyone's doing well today. But we got some more Washington Commanders news. Today, the Washington Commanders, along with the Baltimore Ravens and other teams, and the Titans as being the other team, has requested to interview offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy from the Kansas City Chiefs for their vacant offensive coordinator positions. Now, before you be like, "Juan, why is he getting interviewed and he's already offensive coordinator?" Now, as we clearly know, in Kansas City, who runs the show? Big Red. He runs the show, okay? So even though Eric Bieniemy has the title of offensive coordinator, who is really calling the plays, who is really installing the game plan week in and week out and coming up with new ways to attack opposing defenses? Andy Reid. And if you don't believe me, I mean, Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce, they have a podcast called New Heights, probably the best sports podcast I've ever seen. And it's the best one out right now. And I mean, they talk about it all the time. And Travis Kelce even alluded to that Andy Reid is the one that, is mainly involved with coming up with offensive schemes and stuff like that and game plans for the week. And that's clear. We already know that. That's nothing that is surprising. So what Eric Bieniemy could possibly be doing is he is wanting to go somewhere else to show that he can call the plays and he can be in charge of the offense and it still will be good. So then he can become a head coach, because you remember he's been trying to get a head coaching job for like the past 2-3 seasons now, and he hasn't been able to do that. For some reason, teams are just overlooking this guy. He has countless interviews with teams, okay, for head coaching vacancies. He has countless interviews with teams, but for some reason, these teams never follow through with Eric Bieniemy as becoming their head coach. I wonder why that is. A big reason for that is because, again, Andy Reid is the one that's in charge of this offense. So they could probably be like, "Hey, man, you ain't really doing nothing over there. You just riding Andy Reid's riding this being the co-pilot, really. Like, you know what I'm saying? Going along for the ride. You ain't got nothing to do." And nothing to do with it. And Eric Bieniemy's like, "Nah, I definitely am a talented offensive mind. Don't get it twisted. I could show you better than I could tell you. So you know what? I'm gonna instead of just trying to go get a head coaching job, since y'all don't want to hire me, I'm gonna go somewhere where I'm gonna be in charge of the offense, and then I could then lateral up and go get a head coaching job." And honestly speaking, the Washington Commanders request an interview. I think this is the perfect spot for him. And this is not even just being a Washington fan, right? This is being for real. You got all the talent out of the Ravens, Titans, and Commanders. What team has the most offensive talent? The Washington Commanders. Okay, you got so much offensive talent. You got a young quarterback in Sam Howell that you could work with and develop with, and he's athletic. He has a strong arm. You're going from Patrick Mahomes to Sam Howell. That's a huge drop off. Trust me, I understand that. But this guy has working tools. Now, Baltimore could be like, "Hey, you might have Lamar Jackson." Keyword might, because again, they haven't came to a long-term deal. You might have Lamar Jackson. And Eric Bieniemy like, "Yeah, that's cool. But what weapons do we got around? Besides Mark Andrews, who else do we have around Lamar Jackson? Nothing, right?" So I think this is the perfect spot for him. I think this is a one-stop. This would probably be like a 1-year thing, where he could come in, install his game plan, and take Washington's offense to the next level, and then go ahead and leave for a head coaching job somewhere else. And the way this franchise is headed, it's seeming like this is just a 1 year thing, honestly, right? Because obviously, as we know, the sale is happening. So next year we could see a whole new coaching staff, right? So not and not the season coming up. I'm talking about the next season. Um, you could see a whole new coaching staff. So why not just come here for that 1 year, get your name out there, and then you already expecting a new coaching staff because of the new owner sale. So why not just stay here and work it out this 1 year and then go get your head coaching job? But the flip side of that, right? This is what I was thinking. I'm like, what if Eric Bieniemy is good, too good? Like, what if he takes this offense to the next level and we end up winning 12, 13 games next year? And we make it to the playoffs and we have a playoff run. And Eric Bieniemy leaves for a head coaching job, and Ron Rivera they had too good of a season. So now the new ownership wants to keep Ron Rivera around. Then what are we gonna do? Right? What are we gonna? We're gonna be right back in the same predicament again next year, looking for a new offensive coordinator. So that could be a reason as to why we may want to stay away. But I'm all in, bro. Ron Rivera, you're trying to save your job. You're trying to impress the new owners if we in fact do sell. So I will do whatever it takes to have the best season possible. So if that means Eric Bieniemy for 1 year, so be it. Go get him. Laurel or mint. Okay. Now again, this is just a thought. This is just a possibility. Who's to say Eric Bieniemy wants to come here or is interested in coming here? Right? I would think he wants to be, because I think he wants to be a head coach. Now, could that be a possibility that he doesn't want to be? Definitely, but I think he wants to be a head coach. And I think coming to Washington will give you the best opportunity to pursue that mission. Because again, look at all the talent you have around. The only big drop off that you could probably say from the Kansas City Chiefs to the Washington Commanders, huge drop off is Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, right? And those are two massive drop offs. Trust me. But when you got Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dawson, Curtis Samuel, you have some talent. You got Antonio Gibson, Brian Robinson in the backfield. I would take our wide receiving core over the Chiefs wide receiving core for sure. I would take our backfield over the Kansas City Chiefs backfield. The only reason why their backfield and their team just overall looks so good is because obviously 1-5 and the coaching staff, Andy Reid's way of putting things together. That's the reason why it looks so good. But you telling me you can't do that here in Washington? If you can't somehow come here to Washington and manage to put up 28 points a game with this offensive firepower, then you don't need to be a head coach. Simple as that. That's why I'm saying this would be the best place for him, because it's got all the talent. And I don't want to say it will be easier, but it will be a much more likely chance that you're able to have 28 points a game with an offense firepower than opposed to going to Tennessee. What do they have in Tennessee? Robert Woods, Treylon Burks, Chig Okonkwo, Derrick Henry in the backfield. Like, okay, that's cool, but you don't have Eric Bieniemy, coming from a system where they like pushing the ball down the field, being creative, passing the ball majority of the time. You're not going to want to go to Tennessee where you're running the ball majority of the time. You don't want to go to Baltimore where you're running the ball majority of the time. And you could be like, hey, Juan, that's what Ron Rivera wants here. And you're true, and you're definitely right. You're definitely right about that. But here's what Eric Bieniemy can say. He say, I'm definitely interested in the job, but if you're gonna hire me, you gotta let me be in control of what I want to do. Like, you gotta let me be in control of this offense for real. So you gotta let me do what I gotta do for this team to be successful. And if that's passing the ball more than running, you gotta let me do it, Ron. I understand you want to be run oriented, but that's not what this team's catered around. And I understand why Ron wants it, because he's old school, but it's no way you look at this team and look at this offensive firepower and think this team should be run oriented. No, shouldn't. This team should be predicated on passing the ball, moving the ball down the field, okay, and having quick scoring drives. Big chunk plays of 25, 30, 40 occasionally. That's what he does in that's what he's doing in Kansas City. Okay, whether he's the one putting the game plan together or calling the plays or coming up with the scheme, it doesn't matter. You gotta think he's learned a lot from Andy Reid. Everyone's learned a lot from Andy Reid under his tree. So you telling me just because he's not calling the plays, Andy Reid's been grooming this guy for years now. So you got to think wherever he goes, he's going to take a similar scheme that Andy Reid runs and bring it to wherever he's going next. So you got to think if he comes to Washington, he's going to want to pass the ball a lot and be creative and be tricky and be cute. That's what they do in Kansas City. So it's not going to be no difference where he goes. So again, that's why I'm like, hey, Ron, you're requesting to interview this guy. So you're obviously intrigued with his work. You got to understand, if you hire this guy, that run-oriented stuff, out the window. Out the window. No one's saying you have to totally get rid of the run game. Nobody's saying that. But if you hire this man, run-oriented isn't no longer the motive. And it shouldn't even be the motive. But I understand what you want. Okay? But yeah, I would get him, okay, for a year. Because he caters to what majority of this fan base wants. I guarantee you, out of this whole fan base, probably 15% of the fan base wants to be run-oriented. The other percent wants to be a new age offense, how it is in today's offense, passing heavy, quick scoring drives. And that's what Eric Bieniemy would bring. So I definitely think it would be I think it would be a good idea, a good thing to bring him in. You compare him with Sam Howell. You can develop Sam Howell for the future, and that would really be good for this team, for this offense, and for him and his future. So let me know what you guys think about it. There you have it. Washington Commanders requested to interview Eric Bieniemy. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. As always, it's me, William Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Hell to the Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Thank you so much. See you next time. I'm out. Peace. Cost me one time, that's gonna get you popped. Get you popped.